do they?
Yeah. Do you know what was up with your computer?
I don't really know. It just decided that it didn't want to compute for a little bit. But I was
It's not a
patient
good sign.
and it settled down. So
Oh, you didn't even have to hit it. Wow.
no, I didn't
No,
have to hit
it was-
it, didn't turn it off and back on again.
That was
What
me.
technology.
That's what the wave was. We are live. Frank, will you keep your mouse hovering above the remove button of me? Because I'm not wearing anything from the waist down. I'm completely naked and erect. No, that's... I just want to see whether the editor will find
For
that
the honour of
amusing.
the hobby.
Yeah. Shall we start the show? Hello, and... sorry, Frank.
I was just going to say that Clive was just saying that his kids have made him ill, but I reckon by the sounds of this show is going to make the kids ill. So we'll see how it goes.
I don't understand.
You managed to sound so old while looking so young, Jack.
I feel very young.
I tried to listen to the first podcast, Jack. You had a button that went beep like between 5 and 10 seconds throughout the entire thing, and I felt like I was losing my mind after a while.
Mate, some of the things I said on that show were somewhat fruity. If you want original uncut episodes, it is. It used to be really terrible for swearing. Because I used to be on another podcast, and every other word was the F word.
If it wasn't for iTunes, we could get away with it, I tell you.
Yeah, stuff really goes downhill.
Speaking of, I found out the YouTube Music app puts ads onto podcasts. So that's another reason for going to Pocket Casts or some other podcatcher instead of going with the Android default YouTube Music, as will be shortly.
We don't even get a cut of that, do we?
Nah.
If it is, it's very, very small.
We might get enough to cover the electricity bill next time you microwave hot noodle, but that's about it. It's not enough to live on.
Hello and welcome to Let's Drone Out. Tonight we are joined by everyone's not favourite, Andrew / Frank.
You are everyone's favourite. Now Curry's on a sabbatical, you are officially everyone's favourite. You have to step into those shoes, stretch out, get used to them.
I know where I'm not
everyone's
wanted.
favourite Andrew / Frank.
Everyone's least favourite Stephen.
Hello, plebs.
And everyone's most irritable Bride to Fly. Hello. Oh, we've got HPI guy.
Ooh.
Very sexy.
Not
Very
just
sexy
HPI guy,
indeed.
but that HPI guy.
Yeah.
That HPI guy.
I know.
Going back a few years.
I know. What are you doing here?
Really like your printers.
Did you fire up an old computer and suddenly the homepage had been set wrong or something? You are. How's the koi pond? Are you swimming about in it for survival? He's like Aquaman. He was like.
Jack, you're going to have to throw us a bone because we don't know what you're on about, mate.
You know Aquaman, the
Seaman.
really sexy guy. What's his name?
Like the Super Friends in South Park.
No, hang on. What is his name?
Jason Momoa.
AQ Aquaman.
He's like the alternative Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel with hair. No. The Rock with hair. That would be more apt.
Yeah, the sexy
Anyway,
Aquaman.
so what's the pond about? It makes no sense. This is all just
he had a koi pond.
Callbacks.
Okay. Jason Momoa. He was
famous.
This is basically HBI guy. Jason Momoa, but even sexier. You see that? like that is HPI guy, but even more. He's got a stomach.
Is that what you do in a koi pond?
Washboard.
You stand in it and like do ab exercises.
Yeah,
I didn't realise. I thought it was much more serene than that. I thought it was meditation, not standing in ab clenches. Well, you learn something new every day. All right.
high propulsion insertion. And that's what HPI stands for.
That sounds like Tony's type of thing. Hello, Tony.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this was from the RC car HPI because I had a
lifetime warranty on that tool.
Firestorm, I think the Firestorm 10T had like a 1cc engine.
Yep.
Was it indeed a Firestorm at any point in its life?
He's got a full stroke. That man.
It was, I don't think it ever caught fire. It was hard enough to get it started. Engines are finicky. I don't like them. That's the only engine I've ever owned. Apart from my actual. There we go. This is
started
like
with HPI salvage trucks. Savage trucks.
The HPI Savage, is that the monster truck? Like the one, like big monster truck, I think. I mean, it's a scale, but it's like 1/5 scale or something. It's pretty big, I think. If it's the one I'm thinking about.
Why not just like put a receiver in an actual car?
I guess it's small enough that you can just about get it in your MOT'd car.
1/5 scale car. 1/5 scale car is going to be big. Say maybe an average car is like 15-20 foot long. So at a 5th scale, that could be 4 foot long.
That sounds about right.
That's pretty big.
Tony, why don't you come on instead of just sitting there in the chat?
Well, I mean, maybe he hasn't even like dressed the top half of his body, Jack. That's
we don't need
that. That's usually where Tony is, isn't he?
Yeah.
As far as his Instagram suggests.
He did do a show
running through
in
the woods
bath.
or in the bath. Yeah.
Or in a canoe. He spends a lot of time in canoes.
He is naked. Like, he doesn't need to wear clothes. He's wearing a canoe.
That's how you know
when he goes to the toilet.
Yep.
That's it.
Something drones? Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone catch what was on the card? Something about drone?
Gatwick.
Maybe.
Drones?
Oh God, not Gatwick.
Gatwick.
Wheels have confirmed that there's going to be some FPV stuff there. So
and drama.
You're not allowed to talk about Wings and Wheels because you get in trouble. You are banned from talking about that, you little shit-stirring.
What, me or Frank?
Frank, you're all right. No one listens to you.
That's all right. I think it's all silly. I think they should get rid of all the scale stuff and just have it as an FPV event.
You named your dog Bob.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that. It's a solid name.
Call me old-fashioned, but that's a bloke's name.
Cancelled.
2024. She's got a beard.
Bob.
No. Yeah. Well, schnauzers do have beards, don't they?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, wings and wheels. There will be some wheels. There'll be some wings. Whether there's going to be any adequate video transmission is once again up to the gods.
No, there is definitely going to be FPV at Wings and Wheels. There's going to be Andy RC and his mate Phil are going to be doing some scale FPV. There's going to be a bunch of other people doing some scale FPV. There's going to be jets. There's going to be 3D planes. There's going to be wing racing, the X-Class racing. So there's going to be all of that, all happening, FPV, potentially some big screens, but that's all still very much in the works. But, Martin was on the other week. He's compressing about a year-long planning process into, 6 months? He's compressing this event that has sprawled over the airfield down into a corner of this estate. So there's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be very densely populated with things. So it's going to be a busy event.
If there's FPV on the main flight line, then maybe they'll be incentivized to go and put some big old screens on the main flight line so you can see what's going on FPV as well.
Exactly. And even if there isn't, there are plans to feed the FPV feeds locally over the Wi-Fi. There's going to be like some Wi-Fi hotspots that are going to be feeding.
I don't think anything can go wrong with that.
feeds.
That's a great plan.
There you go. So there's that potentially, but we shall see.
I think the people with stalls who are selling things and the bring and buy, if anything gets turned on by them, they have to sign a waiver that means that if they turn it on, it gets hit with a hammer very hard several times by a man wearing a monkey suit.
Before or after they insert it?
Well, no, it's going to be excretion, isn't it, from the monkey?
Okay.
Are you volunteering?
Have you bought a monkey suit?
I used to have a monkey suit.
Well, before someone else in a monkey suit came up and hit you for wearing a monkey suit.
That's what got you your first drone employment, right, Jack?
Yeah. Like Daddy. That's what I used to call my boss.
Obviously, everyone does.
Yeah. Tony will agree with this. They made me do an interview, and I was so enraged by this. I sat there in the waiting room with a gorilla mask on.
I remember.
And he still gave me the job. Yeah.
Now, what we should do to avoid any issues is just have what Clive shared in the LDO Discord this week, which is the AKK Alpha 10 watt VTX. I think if you have that and just have that queued up to like just a little screen saying like you shouldn't be transmitting on this frequency, go away.
Perfectly legal and great for keeping your tea warm at the field as well.
I was going to say, can you cook on? Can you cook on it? Can you put your
warm your hands?
On it.
Your eggs and stuff on it. Whatever.
Get a little frying pan, be perfect.
What's that spray oil called? Like One Cow.
One cow.
Like
you need to get into
one whole cow in one of them.
No, cow as in calories.
Just one spray, one cow.
No, cow as in short for calorie. CAL. Not COW.
I'd be well impressed if you be like weight gain 3,000, just one spray, one cow.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I always wanted to play hide the sausage. Get one of those, like emergency.
Editor, we're going to need that as a clip. Thank you.
Yeah.
We've probably had that somewhere before. I've heard.
And hook it up to an OSD that just says findthesausage.com, and then hide it. And people
don't go to that website.
Yeah, don't go to that website. Editor, what I will need you to do is bleep that website out just in case. Do I dare type in?
Jack's had that site for years, and he just can't make it pay for itself somehow. I mean, still trying to monetize this concept. You'd have thought it would pay for itself.
Oh my god.
I've been listening back to our podcast and really enjoyed it, even though the beeping and the...
Where did the beeping come from? It didn't even sound like a bleep. It was just like someone had a sound effect on their PC.
Went, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends.
Good, I enjoyed listening to it.
I remember we got a lot of PSs from the Thursday night show. They, like, certain things they found funny. Other things, DJI 13,000, that's a lot of vaginal activity. Ofcom had something to say about that.
I think I listened to that
like
one
multiple.
Today.
Yeah, there's multiple things that
Ofcom had something to say about. I think I remember that.
Yeah, Ofcom didn't like that one. I can't remember. I got loads of other stuff that weren't allowed.
Have you
to
ever
say
actually
this
had a
and-
shout out from Ofcom?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah,
Oh.
Rachel from Ofcom
Repping
came to
Ofcom.
visit me and
Really?
shout them.
Wasn't she going to come on here?
No.
Not even after
She-
the sausage offer.
No. She said all it'll do is highlight and then incite to riot or something. I think that was the term she said.
Well, I mean, incitement to grumbling, I think, but rioting is overstating it.
It was, she was just like, well, it's, we're in the middle of nowhere as long as we're not affecting anyone, but it's to do with is it the PPL license for the music and streams and stuff?
Oh, right.
You-
Yeah,
you
you had a
gotta
lot of unlicensed music on earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, but you were allowed to because they had a PPL license. But,
Yeah, you can on the Thursday night show, which is the internet radio station that we started off on. But obviously, then when you release that as a podcast, that is
you
different
have to cut
from
all that out.
the
Yeah. DMCA takedowns.
yeah.
In your face.
Yeah.
And
I just
slagging
like-
the CAA off and saying offensive things and all that.
I like
sort of
listening
stuff.
back
Don't like
about I don't know, what we were talking about, air mode when that first come out. That was 8 years ago.
that. Yeah, I know. And I still use Idle Up, and people are
I know
like,
you do. You're a Stone Age caveman.
I've been saying you were in the Stone Age since I got on this show, I think. So, yeah. Just see prior arguments. I'm sure you know how to do it the right way. It's just at this point, it's more
just
a running
set
joke.
a super number. I do it just to irritate people now. Like,
Yeah.
I think you did it back then to irritate people as well. We were talking
Yeah.
about the drone show, iDrone, the event that Metal Danny come over to, because he was one of our first listeners, if you remember.
yeah.
Yes, it was nice listening back, actually, and we had some right giggles in there. It was quite funny.
And violating multiple GDPR thing by obtaining people's emails through just nagging people constantly. We want this person on the show. Give us contact.
Did you ever get
Talk
Metal
to them.
Danny on the show? I don't think you did you?
Yeah,
I don't think he come on.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't.
we spoke to him on your phone.
Oh,
We
right,
might,
yeah.
we
you
might have
didn't.
done that. Yeah, I think he was too afraid of his English not being that good. But I mean, he literally drove from Holland to here. I
Wow.
put him up in a bed sit down the road, and then we went to the next morning. We went to an event.
FPV League.
Yeah,
Hmm.
one of them. It was good times when everything was exciting.
Formula
and new.
FPV, that's
Formula
it.
FPV. Yeah, we get
Oh,
t-shirt.
Oh,
and everything.
that one. Oh my
It's
god.
been a
That was
slow January. I'm not sure there's going to be any product releases this year. I think they all happen before Christmas at this rate.
that was the Walks Now
Sounds like
4K thing, right?
Oh, yeah, I suppose. That was kind of floating around before Christmas and people leaking it everywhere.
Well,
People
no, they
leaking
leaked
everywhere.
them
Ugh.
themselves
Yeah.
because
yeah.
they put it up on their website without, like listed the name and the link.
I saw Ian's stuff, Mad's review of it. It looks okay, but you're once again in this like, do you want high res flight footage? Well, you've got to turn up the latency. Oh, you want low latency? Well, your footage is going to look like dog dirt. So it's not a perfect solution.
Turns out
Still gonna be
there's a
people get
certain
GoPro.
number of bits that you can get through the air.
Well,
You
yeah, it
gotta
turns out
pick
like all
one
these
way or the other.
video encoding ASICs can't do everything at once. They can do a few things, but not everything.
But speaking of the UK Drone Show, which is the event that used to happen up at the NEC in Birmingham in the middle of the build season, there's a reminder to anyone that can make it. It's Bird this weekend, the Birmingham International Race Days this coming weekend. As of recording, which
Is it the word?
and 28th of January.
No, that's not the word.
Something
It
else.
is.
No.
I've heard.
Phrase.
No.
It's 4 words.
Yeah.
Acronym.
Yeah.
Bird,
Initialism.
is the acronym.
Not allowed to sing it. Rachel will tell us off again.
That wasn't singing. No one would call that
Sing
singing.
it even more off key. Copyright.
So when is there going to be another kind of FPV or RC related show, do you think? Do you think they're going to happen, or did they just get rolled into armaments conventions?
No, AI now, isn't it? It went from Bitcoin to drones to AI.
Yeah, it's pretty boring AI, though. It's just a lot of people sitting around talking about how they wrote some Python scripts that tell a machine to do something way more interesting than a Python script. Waste of time.
You're going to have AI drones. You're going to be like... You're going to
Well, they
have to
already do.
suggest.
I mean...
You're going to be like a whole controller and be like, do some tricks. And then watch it do a load of tricks and be like, yeah, I told it to do it. It's an AI drone.
I mean, AI drones are not like doing tricks. That's the trouble. I'll just put the disclaimer up there, and you can figure out what the rest of it is. that they're very much the is that a person? Oh, fun times. Let's go and say hello to them.
Very friendly.
Yeah. Oh, that one stopped being friendly. Let's find someone else to go and be friendly to.
Where did it go? It's magic.
Like one of those small dogs missing its owner's leg.
Yeah, sort of like that, but with more weapons.
More splody.
Yeah.
That was also posted in the LDO Discord this week. It was the MOD's latest answer to cantankerous drones.
Cantankerous? Is that the official classification now?
Yeah. I couldn't remember
Release bears into
it.
the wild, and the bears will eat the FPVers.
Bears eat drones.
Bears. No.
Well, they were deploying dogs to scare away the drones, so I don't see
what's
why.
dogs going to do? Flying dogs.
That was what Liz Truss announced in Parliament.
Well, you could have just led with that. So there was just one time where Liz Truss said to me about drones. She's got more teeth than brain cells.
Any views expressed by any guest on this show are personal and may not reflect the views of others.
Yeah, what Robin posted was the MOD's Dragonfire 50 kilowatt. It's a 50 kilowatt laser.
Oh, 50 kilowatt flamethrower. Can you imagine that?
So that sounds cool,
but lighter.
The further away you're shooting, the less power you get. Right, you get quite a high drop off, especially with Britain's inclement weather. Like if you have drizzle, a 50 kilowatt laser probably isn't going to go much further than the end of the road, is it? What happens in those situations?
The trouble is, if you go too high on the microwaveness, you end up cooking the pilot like a ready meal.
Well, this is like visible light, I think. Not a microwave, and they're talking about going a kilometer. So there you go. That's something.
So what are they going to do with the laser?
Shoot it at things?
Shooting drones out of the sky, aren't they?
I mean, this is a typical military strategy. We'll get a really expensive thing, and then we'll figure out what to do with it.
Well, maybe they figured it out, but they haven't posted that particular bit of information. But it's.
If they have to be within a mile of it, wouldn't it just be easier to use another type of armament that won't blind passers-by?
Oh, G-Force is updating. It's been nice knowing you guys. It's gonna go.
Mine just started, and I just managed to cancel it.
I know. I got like a Windows Defender notification. I looked at that, and then it hornswoggled me.
Oh God, that was another thing that I remember hearing about 10 times. Apple versus PC and Chris Weston soldering, etc.
Oh mate, the crap I used to get for having an Apple Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember like the fight? I'd pull out an Apple laptop and everyone would just threaten to smash it.
Good times. Good times.
Sounds fair.
There was teeth marks. There was this guy.
Yeah, but that was
Who
just from
was
you.
he?
Just like
John,
not figuring out
Johnny's
which way to open it.
Bit my laptop.
I'm sure he was only returning what he got from you. So
Macs do look like a pain to support in the world of FPV. Like I've seen what happened now. They've got those new M1, M2 CPUs, and like nothing bloody works on them. It's all just anything that used to work. No. Even if it used to work on Mac, forget about it. Goodbye.
What do you mean? It's got the same ARM processor as your lovely Beta flight controllers. What more do you want?
Compatibility.
Oh no, you can't have that. That's like an extra couple of grand.
Yeah, right.
You got to pay Intel if you want that.
It's just like all the little utilities that used to work on the old stuff. They just apparently don't work at all on those.
Yeah, not everything made it over from 32-bit.
Basically, if it's going to be the case, you want to do FPV in the future, you're going to need like a Windows XP laptop that you keep in a locked safe. That you don't have
this
any
coming from the same person
Wi-Fi
who's
on.
like BL Heli and like sitting there flashing his ESCs over to what was you flashing them over to?
Sitting there flashing, you can talk. At least I've got trousers on.
Well, yeah.
Don't encourage it.
I know.
I flashed all my
there's my
ESCs to
screens. They're gone.
Have fun. We can still see the camera, mate. Don't worry, it's fine.
Oh.
So, I flashed everything to AM32, and I've had remarkably
AM32.
little issues. It's it was pretty new and scary, but wasn't too bad.
Is it an ST link you have to use, or is it an FTDI?
ST link, yeah. Just get an ST link for most of them that are like FO5 ones or the GO7 ones. They're just STM32, and you just grab an ST link and you're done. You got one of these new fancy ones that's like one of those Artery Tech chips. That's a bit more of a pain in the bum. Or just buy one that's already flashed. You know. Yeah,
but
like
the
Sky Stars or something.
Yeah,
they're not.
I
think you've got one. You've got one already. Didn't you get the Sky Stars AM32 one?
Yeah, no, man.
You got the BL Heli 32
They're
one.
all BL. All BL 32. It
should be cheaper as well because it's like $1 an ESC.
You're not paying the license.
Yeah. So they have to pay BL Heli 32 like $1 an ESC, and then they put margin on top of that. So fingers crossed it should. You either get more hardware for the same price, maybe the manufacturer makes more profit, but they're probably likely to make them a couple of quid cheaper. Worth a go. And he does seem like a nice guy. We've been following him for a few years, and he's very quick to answer questions. And whenever there's been some new feature or some improvement that could be made, he was right on it. So, yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah. Weren't we supposed to get the Sky Stars and the AM32 guy on? Is it possible? Can we talk to
Alka,
them?
I don't think you wanted to talk. The guy that we did get on Unet, I forgot the guy's real name. Ike.
Handles.
He's been helping out transition that project because it was like a project for each type of MCU, and he kept adding more and more MCUs from different vendors, so it just became this sprawling mass of different bits of code. And Ike was like condensing it all down into this single project, and that's been released now. That's been out for a month or so at this point. Seems to go pretty well. I wrote the documentation for Beta Flight recommending ESC types, and I was going through and looking at BL Heli 32, and basically everything after 32.7 seems to be cursed. And 32.7 was like 2019, I think. It's a long time ago.
Before before COVID and everything. Wow. What do you mean cursed though? What just goes wrong or?
Yeah, you get like hot motors, or you get jitters, or you get crazy wobbles. It's all sorts of weird issues. Or sometimes just like the motors don't speak properly because the ESC timing is off and isn't picking up what the flight controller is telling it to do. And
So they're not like one clock for all 4 individual.
well, there was this spec that said, we expect you to come back with the RPM telemetry in this amount of time. And basically no one read the spec. Then Betaflight's like, okay, so the spec says we expect them to come back in this amount of time. Well, we want to get on and do other stuff. So instead of waiting for this huge amount of time, we'll just wait for the amount of time the spec says. And then everything broke because no one had actually read the spec. They just sort of guessed at what would work. And that took a while for various people to fix. And unfortunately, because BL Heli 32 development's pretty slow right now, it took them a really long time to get back with a fix. So there's a whole bunch of broken releases from BL Heli 32 at this point.
Because I remember speaking to Oscar and saying that the person who wrote the, the BL Heli like configurator, done all that work, so work on Mac and everything, and basically didn't really get much thank you for it, and really sort of updated that, because if you're old and you use the original suite, I mean that is dinosaur juice right there. Like,
and BL Heli 32 suite looks like the original BL Heli configurator, doesn't it? It's not like
it really is. It's got a red logo. That's as exciting as it gets.
They
and the
could have made it easier to use.
Yeah,
you know
and the custom tunes were like polyphonic ringtones, and that's saying something.
You shouldn't have to go and read. You shouldn't have to watch like 2 hours of Joshua Bardwell videos to know how to set up your ESC. And it's because those videos are there, no one bothers to make that configurator any easier to use.
Yeah. I felt sorry for Carl. I knew as soon as Carl made the transition to BL Heli ESCs on the 7-inch, and I knew that there was going to be times of me screaming at him, being like, "Click this," and him being like, "Why?" or "What?" And I was just like, "Look, it's like that."
Look at Mr. Bardwell's video. It's 1 hour 27 minutes in. He talks about it for 30 seconds and explains what the setting is. Is it written down anywhere? No, of course it's not written down anywhere. Why'd you write it down anywhere?
You know the timestamp and URL, and that's how we'd like it. It stops the idiots flying.
Why would you want to be able to search for something?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you just meant to know. You just meant to feel it. You're meant to like glide your mouth and your nipples tingle, like when you're hovering over the correct Bardwell
22.5 degrees, 23 degrees. Oh yeah,
yeah. Timing. BMAG, Bardwell. Oh, I swear.
Talking about DMAG, like the DMAG thing is completely invented by BL Heli, because in the wider community of hobby motors and speed controllers, DMAG compensation doesn't mean anything. And we had to you have to read the history of the BL Heli project to figure out what the hell the setting actually does. Because in general parlance, it compensates for the current.
The baked potato popcorn setting isn't for cooking popcorn.
It's like there's some kind of backrush of current that occurs during demagnetization, and I think it compensates for that current decay. So there's current decay, which means that the voltage doesn't drop the way you think it's going to, because there's the current decay affecting it, because you've got this kind of large. The motor's
what is
coil
current
is just
decay?
a big. You've built up a giant amount of field strength, and then you turn off the voltage that goes in there.
Electric motive force.
I can post you to a bit of documentation if you want. It's not relevant.
Read
The fact is, you have to kind of piece it together from where BL Heli came from, because it doesn't actually mean anything by itself. Because DMAG compensation, DMAG is just part of what every motorcycle does, and to compensate for it is like nonsensical. It just means something in the bizarre history of BL Heli 32.
In BL Heli stand for?
Don't know.
Brush? As in brushless heli? No?
But that could be brushed
Would be my
heli just as
assumption.
well. Doesn't mean anything. Maybe there was
Who
a
knows?
heli, and then they were like, "No, a heli is shit. We're done with a heli. This is B heli."
Yeah,
But
we've
you-
already used a heli.
But you were talking about
They were like, "BJ
random
heli?
bugs
No, no,
and-
BJ heli sounds terrible. BK heli? Not sure." And we just got to BL heli. There you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were you, Frank? Before I was ranting at you.
Sorry. Frank.
You were talking about random bugs in bits of firmware, and it just reminded me of a post in the DiviMath HT0 group from Clive Galloway about a bug in a release of the firmware for the HD0 goggles. So if you've got HD0 goggles, be aware that in the latest stable version, 9.3.0, it can just decide to turn off, which is not ideal.
It gets bored.
You
and
say
then
that's the
shuts
stable
off.
version.
Yeah. But there's a fix, which is to turn the head tracking on.
Oh.
So there's that.
Is there like a motion sensor that decides, oh, you're not wearing the goggles anymore and switches them off or something?
What he explains in the post is that he reckons that there's been spurious right clicks in all the firmware from something that he's still working on. But in the latest version, a double right click sends the goggles into sleep mode. And so occasionally there will be a spurious double right click and the goggles will go into sleep mode.
That's a fucking stupid shortcut key to have.
So that's not going to be there in the next version, I imagine. But if you put it into, if you enable head tracking, it won't do that.
Okay.
So
just a shout out to EBRFPV. We've had a ton of reports that 32.9 has serious problems. So you may have gotten lucky, and good for you if you're lucky, but like 32.9 definitely has problems. So be careful. Is Jack going to send some beard trimmings to the Patreons by any chance? Is that this month's giveaway?
Back then, he would have.
Yeah. That with the Pritt stick. It's DIY pubes.
Well, you've
Oh,
sent
fancy.
stuff to Australia. What have you sent to Australia? You've sent like cat
Pubes.
stuff and catnip and how anyone didn't get caught.
A heady cocktail of pubes and catnip.
I know.
Happy days. They were the good old days, they were, weren't they, Jack?
I was going to say, yeah, that would have really, because there's only a couple of differences between Magic Mint and Salvia and catnip, I'm sure. I think they're the same family.
With the added human pheromones mixed in there, how are they going to tell the difference?
Anything coming from me smells very wild and feral.
Indeed.
Mm.
The beard's coming on strong, son.
Yeah, no, I need to shave.
You've
Thinking
got
about-
like
well, you
actually
should have a
straight
trim.
beard hair. Mine just gets curlier and curlier the longer I. Have you been straightening your beard with the little funny fine things? You've got one of those beards that just grows out in straight lines, whereas mine just goes.
Yeah.
It's
weird
go
when
to the barbers, Jack. Just have a little trim up. I like you with a
That's
beard. I
fine.
just think you need to
I
trim it a bit.
Yeah, I will. I was thinking about
Clive
one.
vibe that you're getting now.
Yeah, well, you stick a funnel in your face and shave round it and to get the big Clive. That's how you do the big Clive.
Do it.
Yeah, you just
do it. I'll send you money if you do it.
I was thinking about doing the whole like just shave one side and then
just come on the podcast like that. And
yeah,
then, nice Jack, and then horrible Jack.
Do it on the next bonus.
One side's
Patreon.
got lipstick on, and the other side's got a beard.
Me, myself, and Jack.
Could be Janet, half Jack.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Janet.
I miss Janet.
I think
How's
you should
Janet
bring her
doing?
back. Bring her back with a beard.
I can't remember what Janet sounds like.
Oh, goodness.
Go back over.
Probably much like all of your characters on Curry Kitten Wednesdays. Well, all
We
the
don't
rest
talk
of them all
about
have the
Curry
same
Kitten
voice.
Wednesday.
Oh,
Probably
don't.
Monty Python
He
influence,
liked that so much.
Monty Python
I know.
women impersonations. I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah, very much. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. That voice. That is
It sounds even better when Frank says it. Ooh, matron. Come on, Frank. Give us a new matron.
Oh God. There was something more sensible that I was going to say.
BMFA news. What's
BMFA
BMFA
news.
saying? We
Shot
are
Jag,
an abomination.
Their magazine arrived today, but I haven't actually looked through it yet.
Yeah, I haven't opened mine.
Oh, yeah.
Mine was a couple of days ago.
I'm not even a member of mine arrived. I'm confused about what's happening there.
It's their last one, you see, so or at least the last one that they're sending out to everyone. No, there was definitely something actually vaguely sensible. I was going to say, oh, that was it. I had to go the weekend at spot welding a battery pack. That's terrifying.
Oh, nice.
But you're still here.
Told ya.
That's got to bode well.
Yeah, it's a bit more. There's more fire involved than I expected of something.
How much
with-
fire
That's
were
what
you expecting?
Makes it sexually exciting.
I
Like
was
hitting the
expecting
subscribe button.
either zero fire
Oh, well.
or the house burning down, and then I got a sort of, I guess, a vaguely pleasant amount of just sort of singeing.
Ambient fire.
Yeah.
Pleasant amount of singeing.
Just a delicate flambe.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of, did it on my dining table, which is sort of an old bit of pine. So that is sort of fresh in the place.
Pine
Like
is
that.
a
nice
hint of
aroma.
ozone. Just a little hint of ozone.
Yeah. So I've gone back and read some instructions, and I'll have another go this weekend.
What my best
What are you
tip
building
is
it for?
Lick
Why?
the terminals first.
Like a 9
Cheers 'em up
volt
a bit.
battery.
Oh yeah, like the marshmallows. I'm not trusting.
Don't do that,
trusting
by
about
the way.
anything.
Do not lick terminals,
This
especially
is
ones that
a replacement field pack made out of old 18650s, I want to say.
Ah.
How much do you miss me right now? How much do you wish you could just go, here, Jack, have a go at this?
Yeah, I was very much when everything just sort of erupted in a cloud of sparks and singed everything. I was just like, yeah, if I could
This is
hand over this over to
dangerously Jack
I would-
territory.
yeah, this Jack should be here for this. And I just put everything straight back in the box. Like it came out of the box, made a load of sparks, went straight back in the box. Nope.
It went back in
What's
the box
what's
all
next
wet.
then? What's next?
Can you show us? Have you got any photos of progress?
No, I have not
He done
hold
2
anything
batteries. And that was
in
it.
any way. No, I'm gonna have another go this weekend. Now that I've actually watched some YouTube videos on it and not just gone, oh, I know how this works. It turns out I don't.
We've got something for Tony here as well.
God, no.
We're definitely
Fucking
bringing
hell.
back the old school.
Who's been listening to fucking episode 1? 7.
No, I think this is
Which one
10
is it?
in. I think.
Oh, Jesus
This
Christ,
is from Robin
Stephen.
in his gossip
For
corner.
fuck's sake.
That is
Fucking
brilliant.
hell. What is wrong with you? Get that shit off.
The coastal wall's
It's like
pretty.
working for the
She said that it's
fucking
impossible
UN.
for a plane to fly around the ball upside down. Gravity or no gravity.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Frank. Who? Oh,
You started this 10 years ago or whatever.
No, you went, yeah, this will be funny. I think the Earth's flat. And then just blurred out on the fucking show. And then people just, they were like wild coyotes. They were just like,
So close,
I mean,
but thankfully no spit take.
It took 3 months. 3 months for the fucking hate mail. People would write me death threats being like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Does he think the Earth's flat? Someone would punch me in the face.
We're not
for
talking about
letting him
thinking
on
the
fucking
Earth's flat
show.
here, Jack. What we're looking here
Jesus
is decisive proof from a
Exactly.
pilot that the Earth is flat. We're not just
pilot with
thinking
crayons.
There's one of those
it's flat.
oxygen masks fallen down and got wrapped around her fucking neck and cut the oxygen off. As if not, that's something I want to masturbate.
I love the fact
to.
the firmament's there as well. Elon Musk trying
Yeah,
to break it.
that's what keeps
The
the water
membrane.
from falling
The
off the edges,
membrane.
right?
Oh, that's the
The
water on the
Earth's
outside.
foreskin
Come on,
that
boys.
fucking holds it all together.
Water.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
There's water above us.
Oh my god, that doesn't work. We're not made of fish. We're not Aquaman. We're not HBI guy.
We're in a ball, man.
Yeah, well, it's a frisbee. It's a frisbee, mate. I mean, you've never like flown up high and you look around and it's just
Fucking
you can see the
turtles
horizon
everywhere.
curving.
Ninja mutant ones.
It's a frisbee.
I
I'm
did
not
enjoy
sure-
that
You
for
fucked
how
this
long did we
podcast.
pull it off for? 3 years
Fucked
we
it.
did that for. You invited me. You invited me on. I didn't put that up there, by the way.
I'm just saying, you know, maybe
what
you
she
should give
said.
it a chance in light of this new evidence. That's all. You know,
I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
we should.
This is going to be very, very confusing for anyone just listening along and just hears just
cut
an
it all
eruption.
out. I do not expect the editor to beep any of that.
look, it's drawn on an exercise book. It's not drawn, as many proofs are of this type, on a napkin.
Drawn
with
in the
clear
margin as
drink
well.
Spillages. Yeah, as you should.
And
Look,
it's
this is clearly-
crayon. It's coloured in by crayon. She's got enough time. She's meant to be flying the
Oh,
blade.
come on. You can't expect them to give someone like this sharp utensils. But no, it's not drawn on a napkin, which I think really
Why
shows
is
that someone's
Europe
put the effort
above-
into this.
Why is Europe above
That's
Antarctica?
the only way they
Well,
can
that's where it
fly.
is, mate. That's where it is.
And why is there a giant gap between Canada and Africa?
Well, you've got Canada and Russia. That makes sense. That's how it all fits together. I'm not sure why
No,
Australia
Russia's-
is bigger than China.
Russia,
but still.
USSR has got AIR written on it.
I
Oh
think
my god.
that's- I think
Oh
that's
no,
perfect.
yeah, Russia RU5. Is that Russia?
Russia, yeah.
Why is China above Russia? That's not how it works, is it?
Well, it's just a state of mind, isn't it? It's like left
I
and
mean,
right.
this is the
It's
real
just a state
one
of
you're
mind.
Everything's
looking at,
relative.
Jack.
I think your mind's just
New
being open,
Zealand's
Jack. It's
bigger
a
than
painful
Australia.
process. Painful process, Jack. No, Australia is bigger than China. Australia is the one that's slightly larger than Africa.
I think that's to scale as well.
Yeah, that seems to scale.
Where's the banana for scale?
Yeah, I mean, that's
I-
if it was scientific, really truly scientific, there would be a Coke can. But,
Oh, Jesus.
So anyway,
moving swiftly on.
well, there's so yeah.
If you
this
ever do that
weekend-
again, I will fist your asshole.
Well,
Oh, it'd be nice of you to come and visit London. Look forward to seeing you.
Stick it back on.
And update your firmware.
No, you won't update my
Sorry,
firmware.
Frank.
I mean, it's provable. You won't update your own firmware, let alone anyone else's. I've seen you.
Never do
Very
it.
fond of BFU mode.
Yeah, well,
Think my
first you've got to
greatest
update your laptop, and then you've got to get before you update the laptop, you've got to get the little wireless access point working. It's just a constant yak shaving expedition with you. So my firmware is safe.
Richard Warwick.
Sorry, Frank, carry on. Save us. Give us 10 minutes of workable material for your...
Is there anything new or anything been said about anything?
What's happened to the law this year? Legislative Frank. We call on the strength of Legislative Frank. Are we allowed to fly anywhere this year in the UK?
DJI app's changed, so yeah, you can fly anywhere now.
There's something about, I think they've launched a new data set of no-fly zones around prisons and juvenile detention centres and things like that. So on the NATS app and website and all of that, there's been for quite a while the restrictions or the restricted flying zones around airports and things, and they're updating that to include more places where you shouldn't fly. I think there's that has been happening. There was the consultation. I don't think they've collated all that yet. I think they're sifting through the bags of poo that were, set on fire and posted through their front door.
What's going to happen there. It's going to be like 90% of people said it's a terrible idea, so we're siding with the 10% of people who clearly voted.
Jack's doing his own barbering while we speak.
Nice.
You're not able to do soldering. Is this what happens when you can't solder during the show?
The apes turning back.
Personal grooming, using the stream as a mirror. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Frank. Much the same as before then, apart from prisons. Yeah. It's not like we were generally flying around prisons, so
no.
Same as before.
Don't do too much, Jack.
What else? So there's Bird this weekend, and we're hoping to have Matt Snell on next week.
Lots of small cuts, not huge chunks, Jack.
Talk to us about how that went. Also, last night, as of recording, there was the BDRA EGM about some updates to the rules before their new season starts in anger. Well, it's sort of already started, but before they have a load of events this year. Very angry, judging by, I've met racers. I know what happens when you put them all in a room. They get very angry. It's like,
have a bingo.
but yeah, so we've got Serb coming on week after next.
Leave it, Jack. Tony won't love you if you cut that.
Oh my god!
You could have left that bit and put a little leggy band around it. And
you just got past the Amish phase as well.
You're
firmly in the barn raising territory, aren't you?
I think you're doing that on your own.
Well, Patreons, please donate so that we can buy Jack a barber.
We literally get us. I'll bet he sends that to someone. Probably me.
Yeah, you, Tone.
Yeah, see.
Carry on, Frank. Keep going.
Watch out for scruffy envelopes.
Oh, God.
I'm not sure anyone's going to want to come on, to be honest. Wow.
Have you spoke about Wings and Wheels? Anything?
You do.
Yeah.
Just you and no one else.
Do it to yourself. The sign up for pilots to display at Wings and Wheels is closing this weekend, I'm told on good authority. So anyone who did want to bring anything, you'd better get on it quick.
Yeah, I've got.
Of course, you can still bring your 5-watt FPV ground vehicles. No one will complain.
Please don't.
What Tony said.
Just be like, I think I lost signal for a second. I'll just turn it up to 10 watt. Oh, that's better. I can see around the ice.
Or just turn something on. I'm selling this product. It's an FPV product. Do you want to see how it works on X-Class?
Yeah. What are you going to do about the whole X-Class and not being able to buy parts?
What do you mean not be able to buy parts?
Oh, the
PPC.
ESCs.
Oh, because they're going out of business. Well, they're dropping the consumer stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've got 4. One goes wrong, or I have none.
Oh,
Well, that's
know.
5.
there was another. There was someone else who was doing similar ESCs because I almost bought some. They're like BL Heli 32, but big chunkers. They go up to 200 amps.
Ooh.
Oh, they should suffice.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the name, but they're coming a bit cheaper than the Primo ones you had.
I think Martin may have a couple left, spares.
Well,
but...
I mean, you can play that game if you want to. I mean, you like to stick to the one build, but if anyone's looking to build X-Class, there's a number of 12S and 14S ESCs that are out there right now that are not the aforementioned Aussie brand that has decided to stop making commercial hobby ESCs. Now they just do business class stuff, basically.
Is that why they're doing it? They're doing it for big.
Yeah, because they make much more money per unit.
Yeah.
APD, they make a ton of money on the business stuff.
Yeah.
And have fewer people emailing them with awkward questions.
Exactly. People are like, they're still using PWM. They don't care about performance. They're just going along at a hover with like no sudden movements. So it's super easy market to serve.
You've done quite a good job, to be fair, Jack.
I like my ESCs, like my health and safety lifting guides, lift things with violent, jerky movements.
We were joking that yours used to always be on fire.
That stopped you from stealing them.
Fly color, that's it. Fly color, that was the one. Fly color X-Cross HV. I think they're up to the HV3 series of that, and they there's some big chunky ESCs that go up to what's the top? They definitely do a 120 amp one, but I think they go bigger than 120. 160. Yeah. Flyingtech.co.uk stocks them.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do about testing anything because I haven't rejoined my field because I flew there once last year.
Why don't you join? Just to hire the Shepherd hut.
Because that's about 300 quid for the weekend.
I think get more use.
I don't know. I think I'm going to see if I can talk to the flying field and say, can we do like a daily fly where we can just put a $5 in your bank, and fly there that day or whatever. I don't know if they go for that or not. But...
You just walk down in the morning and tuck a couple of 20s in their waistband and walk off.
in their socks.
Does Fossil still have a field? I'm just wondering whether maybe there's a case for a pre-show X-Class shakedown.
Yeah, I'd have to. I haven't spoke to Fossil for a little while. I'll have to speak to him and see if he's going to go to Wings and Wheels. I think he probably would. Are we all going? Are you guys going? I'm going to go for the weekend.
I'm going.
I've just decided. I've decided today or yesterday.
I put in my pilot form to fly my race wing.
I've got to do that Saturday or tomorrow. Jack, you going?
Don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep it last minute.
So you won't get a ticket. Nice one.
It's in
strategy.
the middle between you and Andy RC, Jack.
Andy's going to come, so it'd be nice to see him. Well, I haven't seen him
Andy
for
got a restraining order.
4 years.
So you're banned.
I think it's run out, isn't it? It was only for 4 years.
5 years.
Was it a 5 year?
Yeah.
You might be just on the cusp of being able to be in.
I'm not violating.
We can have you down one end of the runway and him up the other.
Tony, look what you're going to get. It's one of those quibbles from Star Trek.
I'm going to put little
grim.
eyes on it and stuff. Oh, dear.
Well, you've got to turn that into a flying vehicle, Tone.
Don't send me that, you basket.
Yep. I grew it especially for you. Thank you to all our lovely Patreons. If somehow you managed to get through this episode, I'm very impressed.
Oh, Lord.
Massive effort to Frank. I
For
trying
batteries.
to guide this show, it was like a greased pig. Massive thank you to all our lovely patrons. He's trying to wrangle it.
You can't carry on. Just turn it off. Just turn it off, Jack. Just say bye and turn it off.
Wrangling the greased pig of your broadcasting prowess.
Massive thank you to all the wonderful Patreons. You have been joined by our Lord and Master Andrew / Frank.
Bye.
The man with the moustache, Stephen.
Thank you for watching our greased pig.
My darling wife, Tony.
Ex-wife, bitch.
No.
What's your
Papers are in the post.
And I've been bright until I fly. Thank you very much. Good night.